Have you ever been in a conversation where the silence is so heavy you can actually hear your own heartbeat? You're standing there, palms a little sweaty, and your brain feels like a laptop that just froze on a blue screen. You're frantically searching for a file, anything to say, but all you find is a giant empty folder. So you end up saying something incredibly groundbreaking like, "So, crazy weather we're having, right?" And then you want to disappear into the floorboards. If you've ever felt that soul-crushing social anxiety, I have a secret for you. It's not because you're boring. It's because your internal filter is working too hard. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn your brain from a frozen laptop into an infinite scroll of interesting conversation. We're going to dismantle the fear of being judged and give you a step-by-step blueprint to navigate any room, from a high-stakes networking event to a first date, without ever hitting a dead end again. By the end of this video, you won't just know what to say, you'll know how to make people never want to stop talking to you. The first thing we have to address is the spotlight effect. This is a psychological phenomenon where we believe everyone is noticing every single thing we do and say, like there's a giant literal spotlight following us around, highlighting our every awkward move. In reality, everyone else is too busy worrying about their own spotlight to even notice yours. They're also panicking about what they're going to say next. When you realize that everyone is just as scared as you are, the pressure drops. But the real enemy of conversation isn't a lack of ideas, it's your inner critic. You have thousands of thoughts every minute, but your brain filters 99% of them because it thinks they aren't good enough or cool enough. You're waiting for the perfect, most charismatic line to drop, but while you're waiting, the conversation dies. We need to kill that filter. Think of your brain like a muscle. When you're alone, try the free association exercise. Look at any object, let's say a coffee mug, and try to link it to 5 different things as fast as you can. Mug, caffeine, late night studying, my trip to Italy, the smell of rain, my grandmother's kitchen. Boom. Your brain is capable of these jumps. You just need to give it permission to make them in public. This leads us to the 3-second rule. When a thought pops into your head, you have exactly 3 seconds to say it before your inner critic kills it. If you wait longer, you'll overthink it, prune it, and eventually discard it. The goal isn't to be the smartest person in the room, it's to be the most present.
Now, let's talk about the actual engine of conversation, threading. Most people treat conversation like a game of tennis, where you hit the ball back and forth once and it's over. How was your weekend? It was good. End of game. That's a dead end. Threading is the art of looking for hooks in what the other person says. Every sentence someone speaks is like a piece of Velcro with tiny hooks waiting to catch on to something else. For example, if someone says, "I finally finished that Netflix documentary about Formula One last night while drinking way too much Starbucks," they've just given you 4 different threads to pull. Thread 1, Netflix documentaries. Thread 2, Formula One racing. Thread 3, caffeine addiction. Thread 4, night owl habits. Instead of just saying, "Cool," you pick a thread. You could say, "I'm a total sucker for documentaries. Have you seen the one about the deep sea?" Or, "I can't even look at a Starbucks cup after 4 p.m. or I'll be awake until 2026. Suddenly, the conversation has a direction. You can visualize this like a mind map expanding on a screen. One sentence creates 5 branches. Each branch creates 5 more. If you master threading, you realize that it is physically impossible to run out of things to say because every response provides the fuel for the next 5 minutes of talk. It's like an infinite scroll of content, but in real life. But what if they don't give you much to work with? What if they give you one-word answers? This is where you switch from being a responder to being a detective. Most people approach social interaction with interest, which is passive. I want you to approach it with investment. A detective doesn't just listen to the words, they look for clues. Look at their shoes, their watch, the way they use their hands, or the specific vocabulary they choose. If you see someone wearing high-performance running shoes at a casual mixer, don't ask, "What do you do for fun?" That's a boring, generic question. Instead, use the detective mindset. "I noticed the Brooks trainers. Are you training for a marathon, or are those just the most comfortable shoes in the world for standing at these events?" You've shown that you're observant, you've made it specific, and you've given them an easy way to talk about something they're likely passionate about. This is how you move from small talk to big talk.
Speaking of small talk, let's address the elephant in the room. We're taught to hate small talk. We think it's shallow and useless. But in American culture, and most global cultures, small talk is the vibe check. It's the safety inspection before we let someone into the deeper parts of our lives. You can't just walk up to a stranger and ask, "What's your biggest regret in life?" That's a fast track to being the weird person at the party. You need to use the roller coaster method. You start shallow, go a bit deeper, come back up for air with a joke, and then go deeper again. A great way to go deeper without being intense is the emotional echo. Instead of repeating what someone said, repeat the emotion behind it. If someone tells you they had a stressful day at work because their boss is a micromanager, don't say, "Oh, that sucks." Say, "That sounds incredibly frustrating. I bet you feel like you have no room to breathe." You are echoing their feeling. When people feel heard on an emotional level, they subconsciously open up. They feel a click of connection. This is the dopamine hit of a good conversation. You've stopped being a stranger and started being a mirror for their experience. Before we go any further, if you're finding these tips helpful and want to master your social game, hit that like button and subscribe. It tells the algorithm that this content is actually making the world a less awkward place, one conversation at a time. Done? Awesome. Let's get back to the emergency social survival kit. Even the best conversationalists have moments where the brain just shuts down. Maybe you're tired, maybe the other person is particularly difficult, or maybe you just got distracted by a tray of appetizers. When the silence hits and you feel the panic rising, don't try to hide it. Lean into it with self-deprecation. This is a superpower in modern communication. If the silence lingers too long, just smile and say, "I'm so sorry, my brain just decided to run a Windows update right in the middle of our conversation. Give me 5 seconds to reboot." This does two things. It breaks the tension and it makes you incredibly relatable. It shows you're confident enough to admit you're awkward. Paradoxically, admitting you're awkward makes you look the opposite of awkward. It makes you look cool.
Another emergency tool is the highlight question. Stop asking, "How are you?" or "How's work?" Those questions are scripts. When you ask a script, you get a scripted answer. "I'm good, thanks." Instead, ask, "What's been the highlight of your week so far?" Or, "What's one thing you're actually looking forward to this weekend?" These questions force the brain out of autopilot mode and into storytelling mode. It's a small tweak that changes the entire energy of the interaction. You're no longer just exchanging data, you're exchanging life experiences. Now, let's talk about the vibe check and body language. You can have the best lines in the world, but if your body is screaming, "I want to leave," the conversation will die. Keep your windows open. Your chest and palms should be visible, not crossed or hidden. Use the fronting technique. Point your toes, your torso, and your eyes directly at the person you're talking to. It signals that they are the most important person in the room at that moment. And when you're listening, use active nodding. Not like a bobblehead, but slow, deliberate nods that show you're processing what they're saying. This is the nonverbal version of threading. As the conversation progresses, you'll eventually need to leave. This is where most people stumble. They wait for the conversation to get awkward and then they flee. This leaves a bad last impression. The key to a great exit is the future bridge. You want to end the conversation while the energy is still relatively high. Say something like, "I've honestly had such a blast talking about that deep-sea documentary with you, but I promised my friend I'd find them before the night ends. Let's definitely pick this up later. I need to know if you ever finish the second episode." You've given a valid reason for leaving, you've complimented the interaction, and you've built a bridge to a future conversation. You're leaving them wanting more, rather than making them feel relieved that the interaction is over.
To wrap this all up, remember that being a great talker is actually 80% about being a great listener and 20% about having the courage to say the imperfect thing. Stop trying to be a polished TV host and start being a curious human being. Use the 3-second rule to kill your filter. Use threading to find the hooks in every sentence. Use the detective mindset to find the clues in the person's environment. And when all else fails, just be honest about your Windows update moments. Social skills are not a "you have it or you don't" trait. They are a set of tools you carry in a backpack. Every time you push through a 10-second awkward silence or try a new highlight question, you're adding a new tool. You're becoming more resilient, more charismatic, and more connected. The world is full of people who are just waiting for someone to be brave enough to start a real conversation. Why can't that person be you? I want to hear from you now. What is the most awkward social situation you've ever survived? Or what's your go-to emergency question when the room goes quiet? Drop a comment below. I read every single one, and your story might just help someone else realize they're not alone in their social struggle. If you want to dive deeper into the psychology of confidence, check out my other video on overcoming the spotlight effect in detail. Thanks for watching. Stop overthinking and go start a conversation today. I'll see you in the next one.